Hi everybody. I second take recording this. My dogs were making noise. Um, Anyways, wanted to tell you guys about this scammer buyer that we were having problems with for a couple weeks. The buyer's username is Daddy, Daty. Definitely block them. Um, they're a winner. So basically, what happens is March 4th, they bought an item from us. And we shipped it the next day. They bought it late that night, shipped it the next day, and within not even an hour of shipping it, they messaged us and they're like, "Oh, I want to cancel this," and we're like, "Well, obviously it's already sent. Like, you just got the notification," and they never replied to that. So a couple weeks goes by, or however long, they get their item. 3 days after that, they open a case claiming the item was not authentic. We called eBay. This is the 14th of March. Excuse me. So we call eBay, talk to a supervisor. The supervisor was basically saying, like, the guy must have a history or something. Because eBay says, "Oh yeah, you're gonna get ripped off. He's gonna send you back something else, or an empty package." Was setting us up as if we were gonna have to call back and go through the faulty returns program, give us a reference number for the call and everything. And he confirmed, because the buyer is in the U.S. and we are in Canada, that the buyer had to pay the return shipping costs, and then, if applicable, when we got it back, then we would refund. But again, he didn't think it was going to get to that point. He thought it'd be in the faulty returns program. So, yeah, that was March 14th. The 5 days goes by, and we had messaged the buyer and said, like, this is how this works. You got to pay to send it back. And he replied back and he said, like, the next day or whatever, he says, well, just send me a label. And I tried to message you, but you had me blocked, so I couldn't. And anybody who's been on eBay for any length of time knows you cannot block somebody from messaging you on eBay. So that didn't even make sense. So, yeah, and then he didn't reply again after that. He didn't try to return anything. We called on March 19th to eBay to have the return case closed, and we got treated like absolute shit by eBay. It was 3 hours on the phone. I mean, basically, and we kept asking for supervisors too. So basically, they're saying that we had to send the guy money so he could send it back. We're like, that's not how this works. We give them the reference number for that one call with that one supervisor, and they didn't care. They wouldn't take it. And we're like, so like, how would we do this? Oh, well, you'll just send the buyer money. I'm like, oh, so like a payment to friends and family. Yeah. You have no coverage on that. Like, it didn't make sense. I'm like, and where would I send this to? Like, eBay and PayPal both block a buyer's email address. So, they said, well, you'll call PayPal and you'll get that. So we call PayPal, and PayPal's like, no, this doesn't even make sense. And they even said, like, they're not gonna, you're not gonna have protection on that. Like, this isn't right. And if they want you to do this, why wouldn't they give you the email address? They couldn't, through a call to eBay. So they told us to call eBay and have eBay three-way call to them. So we did that. And that eBay rep, again, just attitude right off the bat. So we asked for a supervisor, and she said she couldn't even connect us to PayPal. We're like, yeah, you can. They just told us you do it all the time still. And she's like, well, no, we don't anymore. We're like, since when? Just 3 days ago, which would have been like the Saturday or something. You know, what luck, right? And the timing. So, we're pretty insistent. We asked for a supervisor. She put us on hold, and then she comes back on and says, oh, actually, I just got permission to transfer you to three-way the call to eBay, or to PayPal. So, and I had this video posted as well. I wasn't recording right away. Like, I've been so sick the last couple of weeks. But me and my husband share accounts, so he was actually the one talking to him. And I was sitting here, and it wasn't until I kind of heard PayPal giving eBay shit that I got on my phone and started recording. So eBay reams PayPal out about this stupid policy they've all of a sudden made up that like they can't give us this guy's information and his email address. So if eBay wants us to do that, then they need to give it to us. And like how like calls them on just making it totally impossible for a seller to do anything in any way. It's ridiculous. So it was kind of left at that. But I started to think, okay, well, this guy can't even tell us his email address to eBay Messenger. It's gonna block it to send it. If anything, you'd have to put like spaces or something like that, or spell the @ symbol, just @ So I'm like, okay, well, that right there, I'll maybe win on a technicality. That's we tried that email address, it didn't take it. Or think that maybe he would just not even be that smart to get around the block. He has like 3,000 feedback. Like this guy, he knows what he's doing. I hate this guy. So anyways, we're like, okay, fine, we'll message the buyer. So we messaged him and we said, we need your email address. He never did reply to us. But then we called, actually at that point too, eBay had extended it because that was the 19th and it's supposed to have been closed. It had been 5 days. But they're like, oh, we're going to extend it. And we're like, well, we can't ask for that too because we didn't want to get canceled again. And then they tried to say, oh, another 5 days. And we're like, no, how about 3? Like, this guy's already had 5 days and he's done fuck all. Like, he doesn't need another 5 days to waste on us. Keep our money tied up. So, yeah, it was extended for another 3 days. So that was to the 22nd. Sent him an email, asked for his email address. He did not respond to that at all. On the 22nd, we called eBay. And it was a totally different attitude. Like, I don't understand how their attitude just keeps changing. Especially that one day, like, we were treated like complete shit. But it was like 3 calls or 4 calls or something we had made. Sorry, I keep moving the camera. So, yeah, we called and they're like, yep, he hasn't done anything. But they said they weren't closing it. They were extending it again for another 10 days. But they were going to try to force the buyer to return it. And they said at this point, they go, even if you get it back, you don't pay the return shipping. He's going to have to pay for that. So they sent him an email and said, it's been extended for 10 days. And you have to return this. You're paying for this return now. About an hour later, an email comes in that says, case closed. We decided in the buyer's favor based on the evidence that was provided, which was nothing. Like, this guy, claimed it wasn't authentic, but, like, provided nothing at all. And, like, he couldn't have, he had it like 3 days. This guy's an asshole. So, yeah, they closed it. We called back to eBay. And they did, what's the word I want? Appeal. They appealed it. I'm not editing that out either. They appealed it for us, and we won the appeal and got the refund, but it wasn't until a couple days later I was looking at my PayPal, and it looks like eBay refunded us, not that they took it back from the buyer. It says that the payment came from eBay, and was in my account, it says the item isn't paid for. It's showing up as an unpaid item now, so that's ridiculous. I don't know what eBay is thinking. Like, it's kind of scammy. Oh, I got another story that I'll tell in a separate video about a fucked up buying experience that we had. But yeah, this buyer. So, the moral of the story, especially if you are having problems on international transactions, that your buyer is responsible to pay the return shipping costs, and then if applicable, you refund them after you get the item back. And it's kind of down the honor system. There's one time eBay somehow forced, I don't really remember, but I remember they forced us to refund somebody. But otherwise, it's kind of done on the honor system. So we always get stuck with things when we get ripped off because we're not fronting the cost to return something to some Finchy seller that they already ripped us off in the product. They're not going to give us back shipping. So yeah, the buyer pays, and I'm losing interest in doing this. I feel like crap. And yeah, and stand up to eBay. Like, it was ridiculous how we were treated. And then how, like, the next day it's like rain and sunshine. And we were right. We were completely in the right. I don't know if it's because this guy was one of their elite members. I know they can cause a lot of problems for people. I don't even really know a whole lot about these elite members besides that they get away with murder with eBay. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna see if I can upload that other story. I'm gonna upload this one now. I'm just gonna cut it off. If you have questions, comment below. I'll try to answer them. But that's basically the story.